24-hour reprieve. Mark's taking advantage of that to short squeeze on the Aussie Kiwi, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if it's just a relief rally, right? That's all it is. I think the timing of the big Aussie Kiwi trade is later in the year, closer to November. RBNZ cutting, and a few banks think RBNZ is not going to cut again. They're just going to try and talk it. That makes sense to me. So I'm a bit careful on this pair. It's I mean, look, the 200-point rally from the lows is like a gift, and I'm reevaluating that trade. Similar to the Euro Pound, if the Euro Pound has a sell-off back towards 85, I might close out those trades. Just trying to get clean, try to get focused on the market, trying to get some winning trades rather than going to war, right? These counter trend stuff is just starting to affect my psyche. Good note, this big risk on rally has extended the DAX that we bought a couple of days ago on the ECB wording. So ECB came out with the inside sources suggesting that there is more QE to come and rates aren't going to be cut. But the thing I liked about it is there's more QE to come. So market will start to think about that into the next ECB meeting, which is, they've changed their schedule to every 6 weeks, so it's a little bit ways away. The next ECB meeting. We have a BOE on the... Oh god, that's going to be a great month. October's going to be really good. So it's October 20. Well, October 13 we have the BOE. Now, if the data comes in strong, especially the sentiment data remains strong for the UK in the first week of October, perhaps they do dial back their dovish rhetoric, right? So they've been very dovish, and that's helped the pound come under pressure. But if they dial that back and, you know, take it from we expect to cut more this year to we'll wait and see, that's enough for the pound to have a good, you know, go at the recovery trade. We might be able to get back into that trade, but that's still a few weeks away, right? And we need that data to be good in the first week. So in terms of where we're targeting here on the top side, 10.7 to 10.8. Previous sizes, you know, potentially there. I will be watching tonight's US session. Any sort of failure or sharp reversal, I'll probably get out. But no need to panic, really. It looks like the market wants to retest those highs in the US as well, so that's not too much further. So that should bring up the DAX to those previous highs. In terms of the dollar yen's little relief rally here, suspect on that. I mean, stops must be building underneath 100, right? And it would be a kooky little move, little tricky move here by the market if that's the low, right? So if that's not the low, then the market's going lower, so the people who are buying are getting out at some point, right? This could be a bit of short squeeze, could be a bit of bargain hunting, you know, failure on the downside leading to a short cover. But second round attack, if it comes in the next couple of days, you know, watch out for that. I wouldn't be buying a second time. Not the dollar yen there. On that note, I am long dollar yen. I think we still got a legacy dollar yen from last night. So we were making Keelan. We're doing this update yesterday, and the market was where? That was ridiculous. I mean, it's not ridiculous, but just, oh god. You know, we did an update, and I'd bought on that dip, and the market rallied up to 102.70. It started pulling back, and I was like, oh. I put a stop to entry on my second position, got stopped out, and I was like, oh, this is funny action. Then I woke up this morning, it's down here. I'm like, oh god, you know, not again. Going to war. with everything, but everything seems to be relatively okay. I'm actually going to close that. That's enough of that. Enough of that. We'll get back into that if there's a chance, if there's a reason, if Kuroda clarifies his position on cutting rates more. But right now, the game is breaking 100, while the US dollar is under back foot and the euro, the pound, and the Aussie rally. It's just when stocks are really strong, it's hard for dollar yen to fall. Nikkei was strong today too, so that's helped the dollar yen reverse. So we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, nothing's ever done deal in the markets, right? In terms of breaking key levels and things. And if it does by chance somehow survive, then yeah, we can reevaluate. This wedge which has developed for the last 2 or 3 months, potentially breaking to the top side. But let's not fool ourselves here. Most likely, it's going to break 100. Little data today. Apart from these Bank of England speakers, we do have the unemployment data. Always on Thursday, we have the unemployment data. Nothing major in that announcement. Am I surprised by the stock market movement? No, I mean, we've seen this a lot, but I was banking on stock market weakness at some point to enter a couple of trade ideas I had, and we didn't get that scenario, so I didn't sell the Aussie, didn't sell the Kiwi. Kiwi would have worked out okay just because of the RBNZ, but right now there's no reason to get involved in a risk-off sort of trade when the market's just relentless. And I've still got to take profit on the DAX, right, to even consider going short on any of these risk pairs. So a lot of you trade the pound yen. Let's bring that up. Jeez, it fell a lot, didn't it? It's a big fall. Actually pretty important what happens in the next couple hours into the US session. If it rolls back down, I think the market will start to sell again. If we can somehow manage a second wind here, get the euro to pop 101 back towards those previous levels, and for the pound to not hit a landmine with Carney, then potentially get back above 131 itself, then you might get that second leg to say 133. Probably not my default case is what's going to happen here. But yeah, I mean, impressive rally so far today. Yeah, I mean, it's coming on the back of relentless selling, right? It's like 2 weeks of pretty heavy, wipe you out if you tried to buy the recovery trade sort of trade. And similar to the way the dollar yen's got that support at 100, yeah, the pound yen's got that support at 130-ish. Where do we go to back in the day? So, I mean, we still got some room to move on the downside here, guys. Dollar yen gets to 95, and the pound gets to 125. That would put us at 118. Pretty much at the lows. 95 on the dollar yen is potential. So yeah, I mean, it can make that next leg lower if everything lines up for it. That would be great little buying though. I mean, dollar yen below 90, and while at the same time the pound remains on the back foot towards 125, that requires stock market crashing sort of scenarios, which is possible if the bond market flares up. It's hard for the central banks to stop this bond market once it starts moving, right? Next ECB meeting is critical for that. They started this problem. They need to extend QE at the next meeting. If they don't understand this, then there's a problem. Bank of Japan, sort of everyone gave them a free pass because they've been trying for 20 years to get out of deflation, but ECB is not going to get the free pass. It's sort of demand the demands of the market, right? It'll chuck a tantrum, and that's what it did last time. And that in that scenario, that's when we get that, that move to 120. But yeah, bottom fishing around there, that's not too bad an idea. Euro yen. I haven't looked at euro yen. Well, it's going to be a bit of a messy chart. It's not like the euro is doing much. So dollar yen falling, then the euro yen will fall. But we're getting compelling levels too. So I mean, just take it as dollar yen the Q for that particular pair. The euro is uninspired right now, so it doesn't have a reason to go one way or the other. But just use the dollar yen as the main indicator for which way the euro yen's going. In terms of the other ways of playing the yen, Aussie yen, I suppose, is a good one. Long. Aussie yen used to be my favorite currency. I traded it a lot. But now the carry's gone. It's like a little less enticing. It was the main carry trade back in 2008. Oh, it's quite low. I'd be looking lower 77s. Sorry, lower 70s if we get down there, right? Okay, a phone call from Malta. Will be one of these new brokers. Hello, Tony speaking. Hey, how are we going? No, Tony. No, his son. Bye bye. They were looking for my dad. I used to sign up with my dad's name. Some accounts, just I don't know why. Anyway, my name and my contact details on some sort of list that's been sold to thousands of brokers. My dad's contacts with my number on a lot of lists. That was another broker from Malta, probably binary options, the latest ones. I mean, I'm sure you guys are in the same boat, just getting bombarded by random brokers that you have not signed up for. Sometimes they even go past that, right? Oh, are you interested in trading? Yeah, I'm pretty interested. That's very good, sir. Second source of income. Yeah. No, I'm in the middle of a stream. Do you know about the opportunities in the market, sir? Yeah, I'm trying to trade right now, mate. What is your sales pitch? What does your broker do differently? Our broker's regulated, sir, in the European Union. Well, I hope so. Have you traded Forex before, sir? Yeah, look, I'm trying to trade Forex right now. We've got an exciting opportunity in the binary market, sir. It's better than Forex. Alright, really? What's your payout? So you don't even have to, you cannot get stopped. You trade for as long as you want. You just have to pick the direction. Yeah, it's okay. I've got a broker already. Oh, you know what binary options are, sir? Yes. Stop it. Leave me alone. That's the usual conversations to go with them. I don't know. I've signed up for a lot of brokers. I'm sure some of them have gone broke. And I suppose that's the final ditch, right? Sell your client list. That's something a lot of businesses do. And then when I sign up for a lot of brokers, I mean at least 30, right? So at least one of those has gone under. Or someone's stolen the database and quit. But I'm not going to change my number. I'm just going to field the calls. But you can see it, right? International numbers coming in. Let's have a look at oil. Oil is starting to grind up. Now, the OPEC meeting is relatively soon, next Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. There was some talk that potentially it's going to turn into a real meeting. Now, that'll be a bit of magic. But if an agreement is reached in principle, then they may hold a pretty soon formal meeting within 2 weeks after, and that may lead to a more sustained rally, a back on attack on 50, and CAD's fate is linked to what happens with oil, right? In terms of, are we playing CAD long or are we playing Aussie long? In which way we're going to play it. God, I'm so tempted to buy a bit of pound here. I just Carney, man. Carney, can't trust him. It's a nice little extension going on in the stocks. People are so excited about the CAD, weren't they? The dollar CAD long trade. I suspect this one's got a fair few people caught on the wrong side. More interesting at the moment, actually, for some traders is, say, the pound Aussie. Now, a few of my clients trade this pair, and they're long, right? Long and wrong, and they want to know how it can rally. It can't easily rally. The scenario where it really rallies is where there's risk off, sort of sharp stock market sell-offs, similar to what we saw with the Friday a couple of weeks ago, where the Dow fell 300 points. There was a surge in the pound Aussie, but if their stock markets are rallying, the Aussie will outperform the pound, and even if there is bursts of pound strength because of, I don't know, just good data, whatever it is, usually the pace of that relief rally, it's only going to be enough to give you a short-term relief, and then if stocks are still strong, then the gravity comes back in on this pair, similar to what you see with the Euro Aussie. It's just very hard to do a sustained rally against this pair while there's risk on. Like literally, when this is falling, stocks are rising. Missed a 150 entry on the Euro Aussie. But to be fair, the market was falling apart up there, right? It was hard to sell. So we might have a look at some of the latest trade ideas. Let's see how the traders have adapted to this new scenario. Selling the euro. No, I don't want to do that. I mean, I want dollar yen to break 100 and euro to attempt to wake up and break to the top side. Just even at the short term, I think we've got a little bit more room to go. I mean, it's not the worst trade, but it's like you're basically saying the euro is going to stay in that range. Maybe it has moved more than it usually does. Let's have a look. It was surprisingly strong. Yeah, is he selling into that trend, or maybe it's a good trade? Who trades the euro anymore though? Really, like it's it just doesn't move. Kiwi long, Kiwi yen long. Now this would be better if it was Aussie yen. You would have got a lot more rally out of it. But yeah, look, it's still a good pick. Not bad. And if the stocks continue to rally, then you'll see the Kiwi play catch up. Pound CAD short. I suppose that has to be pretty good. I don't know. A fair bit of that rally, that sell-off is done, but it is with the trend, so we can't really go against him. And you might get a gift from Carney again tonight. Let's have a look at US Juicer. Okay, trade's making money. Can't complain against that. New Zealand CAD. This trade I like. So this is similar to the Aussie Kiwi, but a little more. We need that confirmation that oil's going to go higher, really, to get this to kill it, to become a sick trade. But that resistance probably is going to hold again, given the underperformance lately. And the CAD's, pretty strong. It has to be one up there as the strongest currency in the market right now. Nice little candle. Is that his TP or what? What's he got? Okay, he's got a second limit order to be filled on the top side. Didn't get filled. Would have been good. Yeah, that target's achievable as well. That's not a bad trade. And this guy, Class, stop buying Euro Pound. Yeah, no, look, Euro Pound's in a pretty strong uptrend. But like I said, when the pound rallies, when the dollar yen rallies and the pound yen rallies, it is hard sometimes to stop the pound. And in those scenarios, the pound does outperform the euro, and we're coming off a very low base for the pound. So, that potential is there. But yeah, I mean, over time, this trade could definitely come out, especially if Carney wrecks it tonight. And his description is good. Alright, let's finish with a little look at some reports, guys. If you want me to look at a pair, send me a PM. We can still do that after this. We'll start off with Jim Reed. So if you've been watching this for a few days, last couple months, then you know that we love this report, or I love it. It just focuses on the things to really that you have to be focused on as well. And sometimes if I miss things in certain markets, emerging markets or bond markets, it's good to get that extra little bit of information because we do focus too much sometimes on the FX. Tough talking, no hiking. Yeah, the word 3D centers. So internally, what is important with this Fed announcement, I suppose, will be those 3D centers going into December. Now, politically, November's off the table because of the election. So, with majority of people still believing there's going to be a hike this year, then we have to start to believe that that's the case. Now, obviously, NFP is really important month to month, and it can change the numbers, the expectations numbers. So what we'll do is we'll keep watching what the December Fed odds are after big announcements, and that will let us know how to play our US dollar trade and the potential for that bond market sell-off type trade. Yeah, so everyone's ruling out November. If they raise, they'll be politicizing. I think Trump's got it out for Yellen, actually. I think he said he's going to replace her. Madman. The other trade we got going, actually, we didn't talk about today, is the Mexican. So this is the Trump trade. It's getting a bit of interest out there in the market. Now, the Trump trade was an idea given by Deutsche Bank a couple of days ago. If you don't like the odds of, even if it looks like his chances are increasing, but you really think the reality is that he's not going to win, selling Mexican, which is so dollar Mexican peso, up here at ridiculously high levels. So the Mexican's been sold a lot on the fact that Trump started to rise in the polls. Now the best way to do this is with an option, but you can just do it at spot as well. It's very high carry on this pair, so you get a lot of swap, and it's the risk reward is pretty huge on the downside from these levels. If Trump messes up, does something crazy in the next couple of weeks, you get paid off early. If not, if he loses the election, you'll get paid off pretty sharply the day after. So yeah, the dollar Mexican is a trade. I mean, at the moment, not a bad. I would rather do it via an option, but just it's hard to explain those options to you. I will go over at one point, because if Trump does win, you might get, you might get all the way up to 25, right? As he's talked about destroying NAFTA and building a wall and sending everyone home. So there's a bit of more discussion about the BOJ's movements today. How can you have two targets with only one QE program, and you're going to miss on one of the targets? I mean, that does sort of make sense, but really, perhaps the intent is to move the market away from focusing on the QE and then to focus on the interest rate policy, and if they can then cut rates in the short end, then perhaps you will get a more sustained yen sell-off. But yeah, looks like Deutsche Bank's still bullish on the yen. 94 by the year end. Draghi speaking a little bit later too. When is Draghi speaking? Just after unemployment claims. That could be a timing, right? That could be there for him to even help this rally continue if he suggests that they're going to extend their QE. And then a few hours later we do get Carney. Let's have a look at the technicals. We haven't looked at this for a few days. Euro USD, we're going to avoid you. Dollar yen. Bearish reversal day targeting 99.93. 99 was the Brexit low. $127.98 Brexit low, a couple days after the Brexit there. The pound. Dollar Swiss almost broke to the top side. We were looking at that a few days ago. It's right back down with the Fed. Aussie dollar still got some room to move to the top side to test its resistance zone. I'm a little bit constructive on the Aussie. It depends really on the risk appetite, right? Definitely no hurry to sell it. Kiwi. So remember that if there is any resumption of the downside in the risk markets, the Kiwi has one of the biggest reasons to fall. So Aussie Kiwi long, New Zealand CAD short is pretty good trades there if the risk comes back, especially if you're moving towards November and it's you're moving towards the RBNZ rate cut potential. Just the chance of it is enough to get the market selling. And dollar CAD's back in the middle of its range. Euro yen, meh. Euro pound. All right, so I want this uptrend to be broken, sideways action, people start calling heads and shoulders in, and the markets to fall. That would be my birthday wish. Let's see what happens the next few days. If the pound resumes its downside and dollar yen breaks, pulling down, pound yen, then potentially we are going back towards 87. Once we get to 88, the market will start talking about 90, which is the bullish target for all the Brexit doomsayers. So still significant topside there. All right, we'll finish with the just some desk notes from JP Morgan. Yeah, obviously they're negative as well. I think everyone's negative, right? Anyone who looks at a chart is negative on dollar yen. It's just, charts aren't everything. Gold, let's have a little look there, Rogue. Gold, everyone trading gold. Yeah, so gold's like probably the most traded products, at least at my brokerage. What's your view? 1260. Yeah, look, I think the short-term direction is more set by the US dollar strength or weakness. So, say dollar yen breaks 100 and there's no significant sell-off in stocks and euro starts to rally higher, then I wouldn't be selling gold anytime soon. As we get towards the upper end of the range that's been in for a while, then yeah. In theory, when they're raising rates and the bond markets are starting to sell off, then gold should get smashed. But there's also the safe haven side of gold. So it really depends at the end of the day which side is bigger in terms of which way we go next. Argument can be made for people losing faith in central banks and gold goes high as their only real alternative. Or you could make the argument that the bond market sell off and the rate rises and the end of QE is ultra gold negative, and while there's no inflation, there's no reason to hold gold. That's the downside argument. Now, if we start to see inflation and bond markets and yields rise, then that becomes trickier. But yeah, short term anyway, there's no hurry to sell gold here for me. What does it take to get a job at broker? Just some sort of finance degree, business degree of some sort. Then you get for the first few months you got to get your license, and then you can talk to clients. And when you talk to clients, generally even in Australia you can't say too much about their specific positions, just the rules and regulations like that. But yeah, there's many brokers in Sydney, so you can get jobs in Sydney, and there's a few brokers in Melbourne. But other than that, majority of brokers in the world are in Cyprus. So if you live in Europe, you might have to move to Cyprus. It's nice weather, a bit relaxed, a little bit backward, but it's not too bad. Brokers, it's just a money game, right? Brokers just make money from trading. It's very easy to make money as a brokerage, as long as you do it right. Alright guys, look, I'm going to be back tomorrow, 9 GMT. It's a good update today. If you want me to look at a particular pair, just PM me and we will look into it. Other than that, tomorrow's Friday, so excellent. Gonna have a couple days off this crazy market. Keep an eye on stock markets tonight. They'll really dictate how long this risk-off rally, risk-on rally goes for. Suppose you can keep an eye on dollar yen. I mean, it's the most unlikely of rallies here to be sustained, so even selling into this rally is not too bad an idea. Pound yen as well, I suppose, would be on the cards if Carney is dovish. Let's bring up pound yen just finally. Final little chart of the day. Alright guys, have a good night. I'll be back tomorrow.